Hello, welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes Drinking Beer. I always jump back when I say hello. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes Drinking Beer. I should be a voice actor. I'm really good with my animations.
My name is Alec, and you should not be a voice actor.
Hey, they don't have to see how ugly I look.
Well, that's true, so I guess that is kind of working for you.
It's a plus. Today is Monday for our Tuesday show. You're seeing a lot of us back to back to back. It's been pretty crunch time.
It's been about an episode every 2 to 3 days, so
yeah.
There's been a lot of us the last 2 weeks. We're sorry.
It's gonna be really hard to top Sunday's episode.
We went in on Sunday, man.
So forgive us if today is a little bit of a diet episode.
It's the equivalent of jet lag for an episode because we just lost all of our steam. Go ahead and give your fun fact, and then we'll pass out those beers.
I got other stuff to say too.
All right, well then say it.
I'll get to my fun fact when I get
Unscripted. I don't know what's going on.
We're always unscripted. You know what's going on. So we don't have a sponsor today. So if you want to sponsor us and have us drink literally whatever you want,
That sounds so. Someone's gonna abuse that shit.
That's the point.
Here's some gutter water.
They're giving it, as long as it's an alcoholic beverage, we'll drink it.
Here's gutter water mixed with Bud Light. Enjoy.
I'll try anything once.
Jesus.
So I mean, and we still make money from it, so it doesn't fucking matter.
I guess so. For the fans.
Yeah, they give us money, we drink whatever. So if you want your name up here and a little message displayed, head on over to our website, twoduesdrinking.beer. And without further ado, I'm gonna leave you with my bi-weekly nugget of knowledge. My Be Now. So today's Be Now. If you want to be in the now, then it's a working name.
Oh, I need so much more work.
It's a working name, but right now I got you with Be Now. So if you want to be in the now,
stop saying it. Just read the fact.
Today's bi-weekly nugget of knowledge is you can't hum while holding your nose. That's it. And then it says, I bet you just tried it.
Hey, goodbye. Because naturally you want to bring it through the nose.
Yeah.
But
so that is today's nugget of knowledge. Now you're in the now. Working titles.
Oh my God! Please hand me the beer.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that.
The one thing this show has to offer is what beer we're drinking.
Today we're drinking Figueroa Mountain, the FMB 101.
On my way to fuck my bitch 101.
It's a local freeway.
A blonde ale.
It's also a freeway in Arizona.
4.8. It is. It's
the Loop 101 though.
Isn't it?
There's the 101, the 202, and the 303.
We got a squirter. All right.
So yeah, it's a blonde ale.
Cheers,
I love
bro.
blonde ales. It's a smooth, balanced blonde, it says.
Just how I like my blondes. That is really smooth.
That is really smooth. That's really fucking good too. It's nice and crisp.
That is
a lot of flavor.
The aftertaste is kind of like sweet.
It's weedy. I love it. This might replace a fucking pretzel beer for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's very
It
similar.
is really good.
It tastes very bready. I love it.
It is very similar to the pretzel beer. It's a lighter. The actual pretzel beer was a little more bready, full bodied.
But it's there.
It's like a foamy kind of bread.
Yeah.
Like a. Yeah, that's.
I really fucking like this.
It's pretty good.
So
it's super sweet.
If you have any Figueroa Mountain near you,
go buy the 101. Fuck my bitch.
Get the 101. It's really fucking good.
First sip impression too. Huh. It's weird. It feels like it kind of builds up and then just kind of washes away.
But very lightly. It's
right? Like, do you feel that sensation?
Cruising
it's
down
like,
the 101.
Yeah, it's like driving on PCH. It really is. You motherfuckers nailed it. You guys had a whole marketing team. They're like, smoke this bowl of marijuana and whatever it feels like. And some dude was like, I feel like I'm driving down the 101. Yeah, this is a perfect.
Figueroa makes really good
perfect beach beer. Jesus Christ.
Like it definitely embodies like the essence of.
It really feels like
California.
It feels like you're close to the beach.
Yeah.
You drink this and you can see the sand in the water. That's all I can say. It's really an experience, and with 2 sips in.
Yeah, it's a really good. It's a really fucking good beer.
And we're coming from a different beer. We both had a beer beforehand, which were different because we're trying to come into the podcast a little looped up. And usually when you switch from one beer to the next, I immediately go, yuck, no.
Your palate is fucked.
My palate's already used to whatever beer I'm drinking. This one's like pretty good. It's almost like cream soda-y.
No, but
it's like a sweet though. I don't know. It's like it's foamy. It's
I get a little bit of sweetness, but I wouldn't say it's like cream soda-y. But it's really fucking good.
The texture of cream soda.
It's like when Oscar was here last, and he spent the night here, and there was tripping some.
These go down so fast, bro. I'm already like
66%
of the way.
When
through.
Oscar was on the podcast, he brought trippin for us to drink, that Belgian ale. And that night he was here, there fucking 2 of them ended up in the fridge. I don't know how. He might have slept them in miraculously. And so I usually take the beers out of here and put all the extras from the show in the kitchen refrigerator.
Yeah.
And usually my dad drinks them.
Or whoever.
Yeah. And so it was also after the time I brought the Firestone IPA pack to Ryan's house. And so I had all of those, and my dad's just like, he's the garbage disposal, so he'll drink all of them. But he had like 6 different beers back to back to back, and he got to the trip-in last, and he was like, this tastes like fucking Christmas. Like,
really?
Super cinnamony.
That's awesome.
And I was like, Dad, no, it doesn't taste like any of the things you've said. Your palate is fucked.
Is it just because he had 6 different beers? So
6
it's like
different IPAs, like
IPAs,
a lot of different flavors.
IPAs wash you out too.
So
it's like
as soon as he got to the trip-in, this really like strong tasting Belgian ale, he was like, this tastes like cinnamon and nutmeg and reminds me of Christmas. And I'm like,
he's like, I smell it. I'm smelling hints of cherry and oak, and like you're like, no,
none of that is there.
That's Buddha beer.
Yeah, Buddha beer is just gross.
We got to figure that out too. If Ryan ever sponsors us, I still want us to do that.
Well, if anyone sponsors us, they can have us do that.
Yeah, I want it to be Buddha beer though, because I think it's something that
it's whatever they pick.
I know, but I'm saying I want to do Buddha beer. Because it's entertaining for people to watch us drink a gross ass beer.
Yeah, I mean, we could just get it for a non-sponsor day too.
That's what I'm saying right now. Before you kept cutting me off to say whatever they choose.
Well, you said like you want to get Ryan too.
I said if he doesn't.
Oh, okay, cool. I would ask you how your weekend is, but
you know my weekends.
Yeah,
you were there. We saw the fight. We saw some football, and we had a special podcast.
We didn't see a
bonus
fight.
Podcast. We didn't see the fights. But apparently they were really good. The UFC fights are really good.
They're just not worth $65.99, $64.99.
Yeah, we weren't going to pay $65 to watch it. And that's all there is to that. My Chargers lost to
the Cards lost.
Fucking Panthers.
Lost to the Lions.
Yeah, it was a shitty week for football, man. I saw all the refs. So many bad calls, so many fumbles, so many turnovers. It was a shitty week for football all over.
It was a shit show.
I think everyone's out of practice. I think everyone's not in their groove.
It's an off year. The Cardinals are 2-1. It's an off year.
It's going to be a while before people really get back into the rhythm of playing football or being a good official for a sport. I get it. I'll be patient with it, but Jesus Christ, I saw some bad calls, and some of the plays that got through, defense and offensive wise. Oh, buddy.
Shouts out to the Packers Saints offensive pass interference call. Oh, my God. Was literally holding a tackle, and he got called pass interference. It's like, okay, cool.
And no one, like, there's nowhere to revert those calls. It's just a bad call and it stands.
The tackle is not going to try to catch the ball when he's locked up with a guard. Like, okay.
It's one of those things. And tackles aren't even eligible receivers on the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just so much bullshit.
It's a rough Sunday.
But speaking of on offensive linemen and defensive linemen, I've been kind of thinking about lately of like this idea of like the fear of death, right? And I watched this show called Legion. It's not a super good show, but
it's the X-Men show, yeah.
It's the X-Men show. It's not a super good show, I really liked it at first, and season 2 fell off super quick for me, but I'm sticking with it because I want to give it a chance. And it started opening its shows. They don't have like an intro, like a fun fact nugget, but they did start doing for season 2.
They don't have a B now?
They don't have a B now. And what they started doing was they'll open up with like, what is virtue? Kind of like a philosophical standpoint of something.
Gross.
And I'm super into that. And basically what they talked about recently was like the fear of death. And they're like, you can't be afraid of death because the characters aren't allowed to be afraid of death. You know, you're a superhero. You have to go into any situation.
You have no fears.
Yeah, you have to go into any situation essentially either ready to die in order to do what's right. And I was like, man, like, that is such bullshit because, like, so many of these characters who stay alive, like, 2 characters have already died, and they weren't afraid of death, but they ended up dying, and now they're no longer in the series, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that's such bullshit. Fear of death is, like, it's okay, it's normal. And then I started, and then what they did was they're like, we're playing chess. They said that on the TV show, and I was like, yeah, but even chess is like, when you think about it, the whole idea of chess is the fear of death, right? It's like you have the pawns, and those pawns go out, and they're supposed to die. That's why you don't want the pawns to fear death. So you want I know, I heard that too. You don't want the pawns to fear death, so you send the pawns out, and you say, don't be afraid of death, because you know those are going to die. Mm-hmm. And then you get the rooks, the bishops, and everyone in the back line. They got a little more power, you know, they got a little more movement on the board.
The knights,
whatever. But chances are they're probably going to die too. And here's what got me really tripped up. I was like, the queen is the most powerful one on the board, right? Mm-hmm. And everything's just to protect the king. So the king's afraid to die. Everyone else is not afraid to die for the king. And the queen, the most powerful piece of the board, is the most tragic because it could do whatever it wants in any direction, as many spaces as it can. Mm-hmm. And when that dies for the king, that's when it's like, holy shit, like, you really just lost your star player. Like, the queen should be afraid of death because then you can't protect the king. And the idea is to keep the king alive.
Are you afraid of death?
I am.
Why, though? Is it like just ceasing to exist or how you're going to die?
It's the ceasing to exist. I want to keep having philosophical conversations and experiences and, you know, those 3 a.m. late talks that I've been going on tangents about.
On the glass patio furniture
that
everyone has.
Yeah, and just kind of be like, what is life? And I want to find the answer, you know? I want to die when I'm like, okay, no, that's good. Like, when I find the answer, I'll be good enough to die, right? But there's definitely, like, an answer or something. There's definitely some piece of the puzzle I need to find before I'm like, okay, cool.
Are you afraid of how you'll die as well, or just no?
I don't think I'm afraid of how I'll die. I think however I die, it's going to suck. Though, I told you guys about, I donated blood, and I basically passed out.
Yeah.
So... for what that did for me was it made me realize, like, okay, well, if dying is just kind of like passing out, it just kind of all slows down and gets quiet. I figured that's kind of okay. I can do that.
Well, that's like the dying in your sleep kind of death.
Yeah, but like
not as.
But
common.
like what I was doing was like blood loss, right? Literally. So like if I got shot or something and just bled out, like.
I mean, there'd also be a shit ton of pain involved with that.
Exactly. So I'm more so concerned with just like, as long as it's not like torture and like super painful, fine.
Yeah,
but like
a car accident where you're stuck in there.
If I get like mangled in a car wreck and it's like on fire, oh my god, that would suck ass.
Would you rather be stuck in a fire and get burned alive or drown?
Oh, stuck in a fire
and get burned alive.
I literally just talked about this with my sister and my niece, bro.
That's like the most common question you ask, like, people can be asked too. It's like, would you rather burn in a fire or drown?
I don't know. Drowning is one of my biggest fears.
The 2 like shittiest ways to die.
That's the thing, though. I feel like
you see the light and it's so close, but you can't get there in time, and you're out of breath, and you just give up and you just sink.
That would be morbid. I feel like if it was in a fire, it'd be like a fighting thing. Like, even if I was drowning, bro, I'd be like, I have no hope. I can't swim up fast enough.
No, you got a support beam stuck on your legs, and you just got to sit there and take it.
I could be like, yo, you know what? Fucking here we go. Break the ankle, cut through the skin. Let's go. Like
that's not an option. You have to sit there and take
I'd still die. I'd still die, but I'd still have I think more ability to fight for my life, and that's what I want. Like
You can't swim?
No, not for shit. I'm an awful swimmer.
You just go like this. You push the water. It's way easier.
But I also like the whole breathing aspect. That's kind of hard.
How long could you hold your breath?
Like 20 seconds. I'm a bitch now. I'm out of shape. I'm not
in my prime.
Not healthy at all.
In my prime, I could hold my breath for a minute 20.
Same, but I could do about the same. Am I prime? But
now it's like a solid 45.
But now it's just like if I'm gonna die, like I'd rather rip off my leg with like shards of metal in my car than have to like kick harder and faster and not be able to breathe, because that feeling is insurmountably worse to the idea of, because if I was stuck in a car and I had to like, even if I still died, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get out of this, but I'm gonna have no leg. That thought is more comforting than I'm not going to get out of this drowning. You know what I'm saying?
I think more often than not, you'd probably just pass out from...
You'd for sure go into shock or pass out.
Pain.
But the idea right now of like, you know, and obviously too, it's going to be like one of those things, like if you were in the situation, it's always different.
Yeah,
but it's
we'd
also,
like to think.
But it's also one of those things to where it's just like, if we're saying 100%, no matter what you do, you die in this situation, it'd be like, yeah, give me the car wreck, give me the trapped leg, and then I guess let's see what it feels like to be on fire.
Getting burnt does not feel good, and
it does not. But that's the thing too. I'd probably go into shock
to a hot stove and just not letting go.
I know, but I'd probably go into shock for that much faster than I would for drowning. Because your body would just defend itself and be like, well, we're screwed, and then blackout, and then dead. But if you're swimming, you're like, you are like opening your eyes, you're swimming toward the surface, you're like, oh shit, there it is. And then like your body, your lungs, everything gets hot and explodes, and it's just awful.
Well, they don't necessarily explode.
I'm not saying they do for sure 100%. I'm saying like physically, that's what it'd feel like. And that's the issue.
I mean, it's just like when you hold your breath, it'd be like the same thing. And you're like, oh shit, like I need to breathe in, but you can't. Because then you just take in water, so you have to keep holding your breath, and that's when you pass out. I think drowning would be a lot more soothing to die than being in a fire. Assuming you don't take in water, because if you do, then that will fucking burn just as bad.
But that's what I'm saying is we're 100% going to die one way. You don't get to say, oh, I wouldn't try and take a breath, because most people who drown, they get found with like a ton of water in their lungs. So they inevitably had that reaction to breathe.
It could just come in after the fact. You don't have to just take it in from a breath. Water just likes to go into places.
Okay, sure.
So
you're right. But, you know, at least if they saw me without a leg in like a car accident, they'd be like, what? This fucker did not. He played no games.
Or they could just think
he wanted to get out.
Or they could just, that happened in the accident.
No.
Then they wouldn't give you the credit.
It'd be obvious. It'd be like,
I'd point to the other driver.
I'd cut my leg and I'd be like, I did this. And it's like, why didn't he get out? He got his leg free. And it's like, this dumbass left child lock on.
He signed it with a Sharpie.
Alec was here. Yeah, no shit, right? Like, that's a double entendre if I've ever heard one.
He was here. He was here. He was here.
He's all over this. He's all over this wreckage.
He's everywhere on the freeway right now.
He's spread out,
just
man.
Bits and pieces.
He's all over the 101. That's a terrible marketing technique. Don't drink and drive on the 101
or the 405 or the 138, the
5,
the I-5.
The 5's the worst.
The third, fucking 23.
Boop.
Nice.
I got chills.
That was after you burped, yeah?
Nope.
No. Because when I burped, it tasted kind of and felt weird.
It tasted different. It tasted weird.
It hits different. The burp.
With the burp for the 101?
Yeah.
Is it like getting hit by a truck?
I would not know what that feels like. I hope to God I never experience it.
Because then you have to cut your leg off in the accident.
No, I wouldn't cut my leg off. I would just... So
okay, leg in a bear trap though, right? Like let's say you're.
I could pry a bear trap open.
Okay, but theoretically, hypothetically speaking, you can't get it open, and there's like a guy who was like holding.
Help.
Shut up. There was like a guy holding you prisoner, and he was like torturing you, and he sees you, and he sees that you've escaped, and instead of killing you, he just goes, "If you want to be free, cut it off." He throws you a saw. Would you cut your leg off and then?
No, I'd just kill myself.
With the saw?
Yeah.
What a waste.
If I'm in a situation where I'm being tortured, you can't trust them.
Duh. That's one thing I've always thought about.
They're gonna set you free. Fuck yeah, I'll do it. And they're like, you dumbass, just cut off your fucking leg.
Mm-hmm.
Bear trap's the other one.
Blocka. Yeah, bear trap's the other one.
Like, there's no winning in that situation.
That's the one thing I think about kind of a lot too. I like a lot of spy movies and TV shows, and I'm always thinking about like when the spy gets captured and they get their shit beat and they just don't speak. The tactic apparently is to not speak, because once they get the information,
they'll just kill you.
They're going to kill you. Whether you give them good information or bad information, you're no longer an asset. So the only way to actually stay alive in this situation is to not snitch. It's weird.
Yeah. But I'm like, if I'm in the wild, step on a bear trap, like, oh, fuck. Ah! I would get all my expletives, every word I have in the book. I would
get those out of the way.
In so much pain, and then like,
what were the famous last words? It's not suitable for children, and honestly, we can't put that. Just a bunch of asterisks on the gravestone.
But I feel like eventually that wouldn't kill you. Adrenaline would kick in, your eyes would roll in the back of your head. You wouldn't know what the fuck's going on. You black out. Rip that bitch open and then limp to somewhere.
See if they could salvage the leg.
Totally can. A bear trap you won't lose a leg to a bear trap.
I don't know how bear traps work. They look really sharp.
They do. They're probably not. They're not like razor sharp. They're pointed, dull. So they'll go into the skin.
Well, I couldn't imagine it being razor sharp, because the bear would just lose its foot, and that completely takes away the point of the bear trap. It's like more of like a bear defooter. Declawing a bear.
You could track the blood and find the bear.
How come when you see the bears in a bear trap in like a cartoon or a movie, it's always their back foot, never their front foot?
Yo, I don't know.
Right? It's always the back right foot.
They're probably just like pivoting, switching stances.
I know, but you got to figure if they're walking.
They probably walked over it, and then when they brought their back foot up, it landed in it.
Still though, but it's like always the back foot.
They're not the fucking smartest animals.
But it's smart enough to always get the same foot caught.
Fucking so at my grandma's house in Thousand Oaks, ex-step grandpa has a trash can on the deck that is animal proof. I couldn't fucking open it to save my fucking life.
You are animal.
It's for like raccoons, bears. It's bear proof. Like, because I guess
and bears can figure it out and you can't.
Bears are crafty.
Bears are so crafty. They know how to open doors. They just grab the handle.
Yeah, and I couldn't fucking open that shit. I was like, how the fuck does this work?
Grandpa, I don't know how to do it. Ask the bear.
So in that, I like to say I'm smarter than the average bear. But in that scenario, I was not smarter than the average bear.
Than a literal bear.
The average bear could open that.
The average bear could open that.
And I'm not smarter than the average bear in that scenario.
Well, there you go.
But in order to make myself smarter, I'm going to start reading.
You told me about this. What are you going to start reading? Tell us how you got into it, first of all.
So I got into it because of a video game called Smite. Basically, Cthulhu.
Well, I sent a meme.
That's not how it started.
It's 100% how it started.
It is not. Hold your pride.
No.
So Cthulhu, really everyone knows, like, or at least has heard of Cthulhu.
But no one knows what he looks like.
No, I mean, because there's like just written description of what it is.
He's an octagon. A hexagon.
He's an octopus.
The Prophet Muhammad.
No. So everyone just kind of has like a general idea of what Cthulhu is. He is basically a big old octopus, a bipedal octopus.
A big old octopus.
A bipedal octopus squid being that is
bipedal? Bipedal? That means 2 feet.
Yes, he has 2 feet.
Oh, in the game.
As in general. He's not a fucking octopus. It's a person with an octopus head. Essentially, a deity.
Really?
Yes. He has a body.
No, I know that. I'm just thinking, would he still be bipedal? He's got 8 legs essentially growing out of his face.
Those are
You think he's still got the
tendrils.
properties of a squid though? He could like fit his brain in his head in any weird like he could like fit into the soda can, just his head, just fucking.
Regardless, Cthulhu is a being that sends people into
just gonna steamroll right past it. Awesome.
Into madness. He is basically he makes people go crazy.
See crazy.
Just crazy. And so, created by H.P. Lovecraft in the 1920s, like 28, early 30s, late 20s. Basically, I'm gonna start reading the Cthulhu mythos books because I love mythology. It's really fucking cool, and it's something super new to me. Because everyone knows Greek, Roman, that shit's boring. Norse. It's fucking refrigerator.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of noises going on.
Fun fact, if you know who Jormungandr is, he's Loki's son. Fun fact.
I fucked a planet. When do you plan on making your way to the mythos of the New Testament?
I fucking hate religion, okay? Cthulhu is not religious. It's more of just kind of...
Yeah, he's a god.
This fictitious being, which I guess you could argue that religion is
Jesus
fictitious.
Christ. Eventually, people were just like, yo, I don't think any of these squids are gods. Can we just make it like a dude with like a beard who's skinny and can make bread? Because I'm really hungry.
So basically...
And I'd love to hear a story about being fed.
I'm going to start reading H.P. Lovecraft books, which is like...
Did you buy the whole series? Or
I just bought one book.
What book?
The Call of Cthulhu. It's the first book.
Of a series?
It's not really a series. There's no order, but...
It's like a Twilight trilogy kind of thing?
Yes and no. People said there's no real order, but I mean, like, if you want to follow, like, something, here is an order.
Yeah, there's like... It's like that sometimes.
The books are independent. Like, there's no, like... continuing storyline.
It's like someone saw that and was just like, I can make a Batman franchise out of this.
It's like the fucking Marvel movies. Like, there is no...
Batman franchise.
There is a... Yeah, like, sure. There's, like, a way to watch all of them. But, like, it doesn't fucking matter.
The way to always do everything in those essence is, like, through the comic books. Same thing with, like, anime. It's like, if you really want the story, the real story is always going to be the manga.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, if you really want the story, you got to go through there. So you're going to the book. You're going to the source. But
it's like, you start
there is no source of a chronological story.
Yes. So it's like, you start with Captain America, and then you...
The first Avenger.
Yeah. And then you just fucking go on from there and end with Endgame. So, I mean, there is the literary entity that is the Cthulhu mythos. But, like, there's no real order. So you can read it in any order, like you want. It doesn't matter. Like, when the books are released. There's no, like, set way to read them.
Yeah, I went to school with this girl who said she'd read books backwards. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean? And essentially...
manga?
Well, she'd read the chapters in reverse.
So she started at the end of the book.
Yeah, so she didn't... Because I thought it was like page 300, 299, 298, etc. But she just starts at the chapters. And she'll read the last chapter and then go to the beginning of the book. Because she liked it being a surprise on how they got there. Like a shitty movie that starts at the end and then... You know what I'm saying?
Fuck this person. I hate this person. I don't even know who this person is, but
she was like 15 at the time of this happening. So this was like 10 years ago.
So fuck this person.
So if you want,
that's some no like.
I can probably connect you. She's on Facebook.
Stupid shit. Like fuck this person.
It's just what they do. Who cares?
That's fucking stupid. I hate that.
Why? It's a visceral reaction.
That's so dumb.
Why is that dumb?
It's not intended. It's not the author doesn't want you to fucking start at the end. They want you to start at the beginning and figure out everything through there. Don't start at the end, know how everything works, and then figure out what got him in there in the first place.
Do you think the person you ever had an ice cream sandwich?
Yes, of course.
You ever had a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich?
No. I hate Neapolitan ice cream.
Okay. Well, the Neapolitan...
I hate chocolate ice cream.
The Neapolitan ice cream sandwich is going to be chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, all in an ice cream sandwich.
Which end do you start at?
Do you think the person who originated the idea of the Neapolitan sandwich was like, you gotta eat it at the chocolate side. And then he was like, let me finish.
I am. I didn't say anything.
And then everyone was like, I like starting with strawberry first to save chocolate for last. And he's like, but you need to start on the chocolate side. That's what it was intended. But people were still going, I'm going to start on the strawberry side. And you right now are just like, I'm going to go in the middle. And that is what's pissing him off, not the actual... He's like, okay, you guys can actually eat strawberry or chocolate first. I don't care. But if you start in the middle, you're a fucking...
psychopath.
Crazy person, yes.
The difference between that and a story is that that's my dumbass asking as a kid asking which end to eat the burrito from. It doesn't fucking matter.
The beginning.
Which end of the burrito do you start eating
How do you eat a taco? Is there a proper way to eat a taco?
No, because it doesn't fucking matter. There's no purpose to it.
Then why is there the
story
memes of people eating tacos from the top and everyone getting all fucking nerd?
Because people are dumb. A story has a purpose. It's meant to be told in a certain way.
A taco has a shell. It's meant to be eaten in a specific way.
You can eat it from the fucking bottom. I have. It doesn't matter.
You can eat it from the back.
I eat Taco Bell, or not Taco Bell, Jack in the Box tacos
Oh
from
my
the bottom
God.
up. It doesn't matter.
Never seen you do that.
There's no purpose because I do it at night.
When you're alone, you just lock yourself in the room, turn all the lights off, and you're just like...
In the dark.
That's that bottom taco.
Stories have a purpose. They're meant...
Just fucking steamrolling past all this comedy gold.
They're meant to be like perceived in a certain way. And for someone to just fucking ruin that, I mean, there's...
But here's the thing,
Read
man.
a Japanese comic book. It's the same shit.
Reading is... Okay, writing is an art form, yes?
Yes.
So reading is how you enjoy that art form.
No.
How do you enjoy that art form?
By letting them write.
That's
The
bullshit.
art form just exists and you just perceive it.
So you're obviously full of shit. So I'm just going to finish with this analogy. Writing is an art form, and reading is how you enjoy that art form. And cooking is an art form, and eating is how you enjoy that art form. So the second you... Who's to say that the artist of a novel doesn't... Let's say the writer of a novel wants you to read it chapter 1 to chapter 10. And then one author might have decided to be creative enough to write it in reverse order, chapter 10, chapter 1, etc. The same way someone invents an ice cream sandwich or a taco and goes, this is how you should eat it. Because this is where the meat, the cheese is, and then you get a little shell, meat and cheese, and you're just fucking biting it from the bottom in a 5-star hotel, and everyone's looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? There's rules to this, bro. You waited 3 months to get into this restaurant, you paid $80 for a taco to eat it from the ass end?
Then go ahead and write your book in that way. If you're gonna start your... Like, I fucking hate when movies start in the middle or the end.
But we're not talking about the writing of the book, we're talking about the consuming of the product.
They're doing it wrong. Straight up, you're doing it wrong.
So there is a right and a wrong way to consume the product.
Depending on the product. If you're telling a story, your story is only told one way. You tell it backwards.
There's 2 sides to every story. Boom.
That not in writing. That is...
Yes.
You're just an English teacher and you're wrong. What do they mean by it's blue?
It's a blue door.
How does it make them feel? No, it's fucking blue.
But
nothing behind it.
But it can have something behind it, is the idea.
But the author may or may not have had that intention.
But you don't know, so you need to explore it.
They're dead. Who knows?
Cthulhu's not even real.
You're right. It's not. And I'm reading the books because I want to. What does that have to do with reading the fucking order? I'm not going to start the book at the end because I'm not a fucking weirdo.
I don't know. A lot of the time I just try to start shit for content.
I know. You do. It gets me flustered.
Take another beer.
Catch up.
It's not a game. It's not a race. And if it was, I'd be winning.
Well, you're not. So.
Drink like a 12-pack. We killed a 12-pack on the Saturday show.
11.
I had 11-pack. We damn near killed a 12-pack at Ryan's yesterday. And here we are drinking again. I've been drinking nonstop for 2 weeks.
Me for one.
An insane amount.
I hate it.
And we
I
still
gained
have
12 pounds since my birthday.
We have today and Wednesday.
I've lost 3 of them.
To film shows for. Oh, have you already gone an hour?
No.
What are we at?
35.
No, I thought that's a 51.
No, stop fucking looking at the time count.
Why can't the bottles are in the way?
Exactly.
So. Are you blocking me from seeing where we are in time?
Yes.
In space time?
Yes. Just jump to a different dimension.
Not cool, man.
It's gonna be a recurring theme. So
you making fun of me for
jumping? I can fucking time travel. They make fun of me for that.
No, that's cool. I like that.
You don't like jumping your dimensions?
I do. I don't like being made fun of for it. You think someone who could fly would want to be called a faggot every time they took flight?
Yes.
Look at Superman. What a fucking queer.
Yeah.
Superman would laser his ass.
Superman doesn't kill people.
He'd laser his shoes so he couldn't walk.
Yes. So when I was on my way to... I gotta take deep breaths every now and then. When I was on my way to Ryan's house last night, or last evening, yesterday, 3 o'clock.
You could just say yesterday.
Yesterday evening, 3
o'clock is not yesterday evening.
The Ferrari passed me.
Evening starts at 5 o'clock.
Yesterday pre-evening, the Ferrari passed me, not even going fast, just going the speed limit. I was doing 65, they were doing like 70. So they passed me on the fast lane. And I look over.
You've already said on the podcast that there is no such thing as a fast lane.
Fast lane. So they passed me. I look over. It's fucking old people, and I'm wondering.
Zoom.
Well, like people 65 plus, like
old people,
retired people. It's like they made probably a shit ton of money in their life.
If they're driving a Ferrari, I don't think they stole a Ferrari as one last like hurrah before they die.
Regardless, they weren't like 30 and like rich. They were like
old and rich.
Old money.
But you don't know that they didn't have money their whole life.
They're old money.
You don't know that.
They were.
That means they've had money their whole life.
Yeah, so they're old money. They're fucking old and white.
So they've had Ferraris their whole life.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just old people in a Ferrari. The point is, I was wondering, so do you listen to music when you drive?
Yes.
Through your phone or your radio?
Bluetooth through my phone.
Okay. So, do you ever just like sit in silence when you drive?
I'd say I often do. I'd say I more often drive in silence than with music.
Is that fucking weird for you, or just like you just kind of do it?
I was asked this before, and someone said, "You do music for a living. Why would you not listen to music?" And I was like, "Well, I'm usually mixing or thinking like critically of a song so much throughout the day that it's nice to just drive in silence." So for me, it's like I understand how people can say like, "You listen to music. Why don't you? You work in music. Why don't you listen to music all day?" And it's like, well, because this is like the one time I get a break from it.
And I like that response. I listen to music on my phone because the music I listen to isn't available on the radio. It's only available on satellite radio, and I'm not going to pay for that. So I was looking at these old people in this Ferrari, and I was like, are they listening to music? If they are, what are they listening to? Or are they just driving a Ferrari
fucking
in
Beethoven.
silence?
That's a great question.
It has to be fucking like classical music.
I
wonder,
like
some shit like that.
Well, something from their era, like
old money.
Okay, so you and me are right now 24 and 26.
Correct.
So,
It's only cool when I did it.
Let's just say we hit 30.
Okay.
We're both at 30. What music styles do you still like listening to?
I want to be that 30-year-old with a beer gut wearing skinny jeans. Fucking that meme that I see of like the dog standing up. The French bulldog's got no ass and it's just fat.
That's totally you.
That's me.
All beer gut.
Death metal till I die.
So death metal. So, I mean, the best assumption I would have is whatever music they liked as kids, whatever music they liked as their generation, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people's parents that I know still love 70s and 80s rock. And it's just because that's what was hot. So we're going to grow up to be like 80 listening with people who are like 70 and 60.
In our Ferraris.
In our Ferraris. But they're going to be listening to fucking mumble rap.
In our Ferraris.
In our Ferraris, nonetheless. But just if you thought they were 60, my dad loves Elvis. I mean, my dad loves country. So just whoever they are, it's not like a thing.
Like... Because I feel like there's a certain like kind of music that people who drive Ferraris will
Here's the thing. If you want the certain kind of music, a mafia member or a head honcho, those dudes listen to opera in their Bentleys on their way to the opera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like a stereotypical thing. I don't think you could say that about like just some old person in a Ferrari. You'd have to sit down with them and be like, hey, what kind of music do you like? And it's not a hard question to ask. It's hard to assume.
It's easy to assume.
It's easy to assume. It's very rare that you're going to assume correctly.
Sure, because there's also thousands of different genres of music.
Also, maybe they were just listening to podcasts. Maybe
they could be that.
Maybe they're super with the times and they're just like, yo, this Joe Rogan podcast is fire, bro.
Could just be fucking NPR.
Yeah, maybe his
could have been sport. They could be listening to fucking AM radio.
That's what I'm saying. Who cares? Next time, rear end them and be like, hey, sorry about your car, dude. Also, what radio station are you listening to, if
Brake
any?
Check them so they hit you.
Here's the thing, though, too. You got to remember, wealthy people are often ahead of the curve. They have the newest TVs, the newest stereo systems, at least in my experience. Every time I meet someone who's super wealthy, bro, I went over to this person's house and they had like the brand new Porsche for that year. They had the brand new TV for that year. Every year they update their TV for Super Bowl. Everything in their house is on the same network. Everything's so fucking up to date in the wealthy people that I've met, to where it wouldn't surprise me if they're just like, yeah, I like mumble rap because I appreciate the culture of music going forward, or this thing or that thing. Like you gotta keep in mind, like, there is no one personality trait to just assume to like an old rich person. And most people who are rich that I've met often have the mentality of like, yeah, like I really like this new One Direction band that's out that everyone's talking about. And even if it's like their little girls listening to it, they're like, yeah, but they're knowledgeable about it to where they're like, yeah, I am a music theory.
Shouts out to Zane.
Music theory person, or maybe they're producers and that's how they have the money, you know? Because it's like, it's one of those things. Like they could listen, maybe if someone worked in music and that's how they made their money, they're probably listening to this thing that they worked on. You know what I'm saying? If someone has a home theater and it's got all the nicest, newest equipment, they're probably going to have the newest Disney movie or whatever that they worked on, if that's how they made their money.
David, if you still watch this show, do you probably watches the show he works on?
No.
There we go. David, you don't watch the show you work on. Why not? He made it. He drew it.
It's because it's the same reason I sit in the car without music playing. It's because you spend so much time animating it and drawing it and doing all the behind the scenes to where like, so you already know what's going on.
We can assume that the people, if they are music producers,
Do you watch the podcast?
I don't.
I do sometimes. Not all the time. I didn't watch the
whole thing? All the way through?
Sometimes. When we first started out, like the first 15, I watched all the way through.
Now we're on 40. This is episode 40.
Is it really? We're already at 40?
This is number 40.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I've sat through a lot of them. Usually what I'll do now is I'll play it.
Dad's home.
I'll like it, and then I'll go and get like food. But I'll play it on like double speed because it takes about 30 minutes for me to go shopping or like hit a place up for food. So I'll at least kill like an hour and a half of the podcast. And if it's just an hour long show, then it'll be done. And it usually jumps to the next show. And there's like 20 minutes into that one.
So it's fair to assume that if the person driving this Ferrari that passed me, if they did work on music, they're not listening to stuff they worked on.
No, because that's me.
And your brother. I have 2 accounts.
2 accounts from the same from the same line of genetics.
It's still fair to say that they don't.
It is not a big enough data set.
Doesn't matter.
You of all people.
It's an assumption. It doesn't matter. You don't need data for an assumption.
Then why even cite data?
I'm just wondering you brought up data.
I don't remember anything. I'm just talking shit, bro. I haven't even drank this beer yet. Cheers.
Old people in a Ferrari passed me, and I wonder what they were listening to.
We put way too much energy into that.
I had Siri take the note. It says, do you think when you see old white people sitting in a Ferrari, but they have the radio playing with a listen to a classical music or some shit?
Siri's not a good note taker.
She can have some kinks.
She's got some kinks.
My windows.
Siri's a dirty little
windows
whore.
are down because my mass airflow sensor is either bad or dirty. Still need to clean that shit. Have to take out the battery. Not take out the battery, but
take out the battery.
Unconnect the battery, and I was gonna do it yesterday, but I got scared because I don't want to die.
So you'd rather die in a fire or drowning, but when it comes to changing a battery, bro, you are the epitome of the Billie Eilish makes music for girls who says they want to kill people but are too shy to order ketchup. That's you.
You can tase me if you want. I have a stun gun. We can use it
right now. We'll do it live on the podcast.
Oh, we'll do it on Wednesday, but we'll get it right now.
Bet?
Yes. You can stun me on the show.
Go get it right now, and we'll hype it up for Wednesday.
No, I'm not going to get it right now because I don't like leaving the show with the fucking dead air.
Fair enough. But I could talk about stunning your ass for 10 seconds while you go grab it.
First, I need to find it.
Oh, fair enough. I bought you that, though.
Yes, that's the stun gun. Someone got stabbed at the Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. Stun guns are super cheap. Self-defense is super affordable, it turns out.
We sell pepper spray at Target.
It's about probably like $10, right? Six to $10.
Super cheap.
It's super cheap on Amazon. I bought the taser, and it's fucking effective.
It's like 1.2 million volts.
It's probably dead, right?
Yeah, I need to charge it.
Yeah, you need to charge it. Damn, you really let me tase you?
Yeah, as long as I get to tase you back.
No, hell no.
Well, you're a fucking bitch then.
Okay.
That's whack.
I'm a bitch that's not being tased.
I'll stun you when you least expect it.
I will fucking murder you.
No, you won't.
It'll initiate the fight or flight response in me, and I will crush your skull in.
You'll hit the ground.
And then when I get up, I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
How about this? I get to tase you, and then you tase me back.
No!
That's your response.
No!
That's pretty fair.
No.
Pretty sure we've bought it, and then we said, like, as long as we do it on camera, it's okay.
You said that. I never wanted to be tased.
Pretty sure you agreed to that.
Mm-mm.
Video's gone forever, so
picture didn't happen.
It's out there in the metadata.
Show me the receipts.
It's in the metadata in the universe.
Well, I'm not saying it now, so.
Bitch.
It is what it is. Let's go on to the cave. So
you brought that up, and that's very vague. What do you mean by the cave?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, there's a book called The Allegory of the Cave.
Written by Plato himself. And it's a philosophy book that essentially states people who live in a cave and see shadows on the wall. To be fair, they didn't live in the cave. They were held hostage.
Held hostage in the cave and see shadows on the wall. That is their world. That is how they experience their reality.
By a cyclops.
And that's how they live. And if someone were to leave the cave and see what a beer can actually looked like, as opposed to a shadow of a beer can, like see the shadow on the couch. Imagine you only see the shadow of.
It's really hard to tell where the light is coming from.
Imagine you only see the shadows. Imagine you only see one detail of one item. As when you look at my arm, you see hair and a shitty farmer's tan and nails.
Can't relate.
But they only see the shadows. Someone goes outside and they see my arm, and it's not in shadow. They know it's an arm because it's the same shape. It's got the same amount of digits. But there's a color gradient. There's some hair. There's some nails. There's some wrinkles. And it moves differently because there's a form of 3D space, not 2D like a shadow. Mm-hmm. And then if that person who left the cave went back into the cave and said, hey, what you're seeing is not real. Everything that you're seeing on the cave wall, it's fucking fake. This is what a hand looks like. I can show you. Come with me. They'd say, fuck you, you're wrong. This is what we're used to seeing. Kill him.
Yep.
And it occurred to me, the cave can be anything. It could be...
Wow, very good.
Shut up. It could be anything from a shadow on the wall or like a CNN post or...
Your perception of reality.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like we were watching PBS before it even came upstairs.
Yeah,
and it was like
electronics.
It was like someone in Israel who built a dam, and it was like really nice and high tech. And my first thought was, I thought Israel's a war-torn country because that's how it's perceived on media and everything.
Yep.
And I realized that that's the cave. That's the fucking it's literally the best example of like
Israel's a beautiful place.
Israel is a beautiful place, and the entire time, like, it's always in news and TV shows and movies as like, well, Israel is a geopolitical fucking war zone and this and that, and
desert.
We don't like to talk about it. Like Cuba, I bet Cuba's fucking beautiful.
Probably. I think it smells like Puerto Rico.
It probably. Yeah, there's no coming back from that one. Why Puerto Ricans?
Because I associate
Why
Cubans.
Not Cubans?
I associate Cubans with New Yorkers, and then I associate New Yorkers with Puerto Ricans. Therefore, they go 2 and 2. It's just the next island over to get to the States. They're all
Lord.
They're all just discount Mexicans.
Oh man, you doubled down on that one.
I'm Mexican. I can say that.
That's true.
It doesn't
But
matter.
it's like when Logic says the N-word. Even when he says the N-word, I'm like, I don't know if you have the authority for that, bro. I don't like when Logic says the N-word. He's
Half
too
black.
white.
I don't like when Kyle says the N-word and he's full black.
Why?
He doesn't sound like someone who is black, and it's just kind of weird when he says it because he raps about white shit. White nerdy
He is super
shit.
white, yeah. Super duper Kyle.
Yeah.
Comic bookie.
Like whenever he says the N-word, it's like, oh, okay, that's weird.
But it's like there's
And
like
also just the way he says it just sounds off.
there's like this weird thing too right now. I don't know if it's a weird thing. I feel like it's always been a thing since I was in high school anyway. Like a lot of black people like anime and superheroes. Like they're super into comic books and stuff.
So is Spider-Man.
I'm
too.
super into comic books and stuff too. Not comic books. I'd just rather say superheroes and movies. What'd you say?
A lot of black people like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's great. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's still just an art form that's appreciated by somebody, you know, which is like, which is kind of why you have to understand, like, that's why they're upset. There's no like black Spider-Man. There is now, obviously, but
Miles Morales.
But it's one of those things like you
half black, half Puerto Rican.
Wow. Yeah, you can understand. They're upset because it's like you want to relate to this character, but like it's hard to when he's not the same color as you. I get that. I think the Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse is a great movie. I still resonate and vibe with it very fucking hard.
Number 2 is coming out,
and I'm so stoked. But
bring back the ham.
The ham?
The
Hamburglar.
Porky Pig one.
Oh, Peter Porker?
Yeah, with fucking John Mulaney.
John Mulaney, great voice actor.
Just a great dude in general.
Yeah, if you haven't seen his stand-up,
he embodies like the anxious millennial.
Mm-hmm. And he's
too well,
and it's perfect too because he's like wearing a suit, and it's like
and he's like 10 years older than her.
Yeah,
and it's like he's the anxious millennial. It's like he's perfect. Like he's super
really
funny.
is.
Everyone loves him. It's like,
have you seen his stand-up?
I've only seen bits. I've never seen like a full special.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to see a full special. Best stand-up to date is for me, Dimitri Martin.
He's old school.
He's old school, but I mean, I love Bo Burnham.
I fucking hate Bo Burnham
to no end. But bro, Dimitri Martin, he's got like 2 Netflix specials right now. Both of them, I'm laughing my dick off the entire way through.
I haven't
it's
seen.
Just so funny.
I haven't seen any Dimitri Martin, but I perceive Dimitri Martin as Bo Burnham without songs.
Kinda. I mean, here's the thing.
I feel like because they look kind of similar.
I
At
guess
least in a certain era of time, Dimitri Martin had like kind of
Dimitri,
longish hair.
Dimitri Martin's older. He still has the same long hair.
Okay, and Bo kind of had that hair too.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But between that and then the other Netflix special one that I really liked, and it pains me to say this because I wasn't like a fan of this person, but Anthony Jeselnik has
Fire in the Maternity Ward.
Fire in the Maternity Ward. And like I didn't want to like this guy. I want to be very clear. Like I grew up watching Anthony Jeselnik like 13, 14, being like, this guy's not funny. I don't get it. And then you grow up and you get a little bit more cynicism inside of you. And this dude is just like the other end of the spectrum, right? So if Dimitri Martin is like classical jokey jokes, you know, Anthony Jeselnik is just like anti-humor, offensive comedy. And it's like both ends of those spectrums are what's on there right now, and both of them are just like, in my opinion, top of the heap right now, because it's just I'm laughing all the way through. Everything hits me in the right way, and it's just funny. As much as I love Bo Burnham and other stand-up comedians, I love stand-up comedy just in general. But
Bo only got it because of his YouTube gimmick.
What's that?
Bo was kind of popular on YouTube before.
Yeah, he got signed out of YouTube.
Yeah, so like people saw those songs he wrote, and then he just kind of turned that into.
There's another really good musical comedian, Nick Thune. If you guys haven't heard of him,
never
go check him out. He does, and that's the thing too. Like Dimitri Martin actually does. What made him famous was his segment "Jokes with the Guitar." So,
which is why I guess I associate them.
Which
with
makes
each
perfect
other.
sense because Bo Burnham used to play guitar on YouTube. He only does piano now, but.
And then he made Vines, which were kind of bad.
I wasn't ever on Vine, but Nick Thune is a really great comic. He does some jokes with the guitar too, and it's funny because a lot of comedians will judge him and say like, "You're really taken away from comedy because when you bring out the guitar and bring out all these gimmicks and all these like hacky things, it ruins it." And I think it's funnier with it, but I mean.
It's just elitism.
Yeah, but I think what it is, it's like the old heads and new heads kind of mixing in with like, hey, we don't like that mumble rap shit.
Elitism.
Yeah, but it's also like the whole like, you're stepping on my territory and you look like a fucking joker.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. But I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy. I love comedy and all forms of art.
I do too. I watch, I mean, I don't watch like as much as like you and Ryan do. Like you guys watch comedy specials like all the fucking time.
And I now work there.
Yeah, you work.
So
at a
I've
comedy
seen
club.
him so much comedy. It's great though.
I like comedy. I like comedians too. I don't have like a favorite comedian because I guess I'm not watching one like once a week at least. It's like I perceive you guys as. I don't have a favorite comedian.
We're pretty funny.
I just
we all hang out.
What? I'm not talking about you guys in general.
Oh, I thought you said you guys are funny. I was like, we're pretty funny when we hang out.
I mean, sure. Whenever we're ganging up on someone.
Yeah.
The best. But I don't like. I like comedy. I don't like it enough to watch specials all the time. And I could never watch the same special more than once.
I for sure have.
I can never do that because it wouldn't be the same kind of funny.
It is though. I mean,
at least to me, that's how I would perceive it.
I go back and watch Bo Burnham and some of his jokes, like, because you forget, you don't remember everything. It's like watching a movie a second time. You get new details or new nuances or something.
To me, it's
something
like
shines through.
To me, it's like saying a joke more than once. It's funny the first time you say it again, it kind of loses value. That's just
here's the crazy thing to me though is like working with comedians. These jokes the comedians say these jokes way more than once. They literally make a routine out of it. They literally see what jokes work and then they just go out and kind of.
Yeah, they do their tour and
say the same joke.
The show is the same at every show.
And then eventually it gets sold to like Netflix or something. Mm-hmm. So it's like they have it down to where it's so concise or so well done to where like it still hits after I forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Because like maybe I've heard the joke before, but I forget the punchline or it's like a little obscure to me, and then it hits me because the way they deliver it is so well done. And it's so consistent to where it's like, oh, fuck. The timing's down. Everything from like the pause or the hesitation to the amount of volume in their voice. Everything is like so scripted and so refined to where when you get back to it and it's captured like that on like Netflix or when Comedy Central did specials, that's what made it special because it was like, oh, shit, I forgot about that. And you get to witness it at its peak. Mm-hmm. You know, it's best rendition because they take the tour and then they cut the video to where it's like, this is where we think is the funniest, etc., etc. And then you get that every single time. And that's what's great about it. Because I've definitely heard stand-up too and jokes, and they say the joke a little differently, and I'm like, oh, it's funnier in the other version. Like, I get that too all the time. Like, if you've ever heard a live song get played, and you're like, oh, the album's better, or sometimes the live version is better. Mm-hmm. That's because you're just like, holy shit, like there's something nuanced about it that I can't really put my finger on. That's what makes it special.
Yeah, I guess the comedian I've seen more than once is George Lopez on 2 different shows. but I couldn't watch them again and be like have the same kind of effect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, also comedy is better when you watch it with people.
1,000% comedy and
you're
live
just watching
music.
it by yourself, you're like,
anything like that needs to be live. Although
it's 100% better live.
I watched Fire in the Maternity Ward, hilarious by myself. So I can only imagine I'd laugh as hard as I did at the Carlos Mencia at the Carlos Mencia show. It's one of those things. It's like it's just funnier with people around for sure. Like if you go to
laughter is contagious.
When we went to fucking the Ghost Inside concert and you put your arms around Ryan and me and you're like, jump fuckers, we need to jump. That was my favorite part of the whole experience.
Yep.
Is when it was just like, okay, we're like officially lost in this one moment and we're experiencing it. That was the best time. That one moment was just like, oh shit, this is it. And it's like that with like live music. If the person on stage can be like, clap your hands or like whatever it is, and you're just like all looking around, you're like, oh fuck, we're just all one thing right now. Like that is the beautiful moment. And in comedy, it's that, because if everyone is fucking laughing and you're laughing, it's like there's this synergy. It's undeniable.
I mean, even just going to like the Ventura Comedy Club for like my birthday one time.
That place is fucking cool.
Saw Ed Hill, this Asian dude, super funny. Bought his shirt, says the N-word on it, but it doesn't. It's in Chinese, because to say that one, it's nega, N-E-G-A, but it's kind of pronounced more like a slur, I guess, in English. And it's super funny. I wear it ironically almost all the time.
Really? Yeah, I think I've actually seen him perform there. He was part of, they did like they call them comedy trains. And it was like every comedian gets like 2 minutes to 5 minutes depending on how the crowd reacts, and they give them the light. And then for my brother's birthday, we went, because my dad took us to the comedy club on our 21st birthdays. Mm-hmm. And my brother's birthday, they went and they just went fucking zoom, 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 bunch of comics. And then went for my birthday, and it was like 4 comics, but they each got like 20-minute sets.
The only thing I don't like about the Ventura Comedy Club is that the owner tries to do comedy too, and he's kind of just a fucking weirdo.
Is he?
Yeah. So like
it's one of those things though, like the comedians don't care, because it's like, okay, I get my time.
Yeah.
But
it's to fill the space between comedians. Because like when we went,
well, there's usually a host or an MC. The one dude,
the owner.
The one time I went there, bro, they had the MC. He was like 22, and I just turned 21, and I was like, fuck. It's one of those things, like you see someone on stage or you see someone doing something, and you're just like, oh, I feel like a piece of shit. Like I still watch NFL football Sunday, and it's like this wide receiver is 23. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it, I could have been special.
Because then you start comparing yourself to others.
Yeah, exactly. It's that immediate, like, fuck.
Which we talked about on Sunday.
I know, but
can't do that.
I know, but
Take your time.
It is one of those things. Here's the thing. I could mix the shit out of an album better than any wide receiver.
Topanga Breakfast.
Yeah, Topanga Breakfast. Hit me up. I can mix the shit out of an album way better than any wide receiver or quarterback could ever do it. But I couldn't catch balls.
They can catch
I couldn't catch balls like them.
Yeah,
I can't run as fast as them. So it's one of those things like.
And you wouldn't drop those passes though.
I wouldn't have dropped those passes. I wouldn't have got those if I was. Here's the thing.
No gloves.
I'm not saying
gloves.
Last Sunday, I'm not even saying I would be a better player. I'm saying 100% I'd be a better ref. I would not have made those shitty ass calls, bro. Those refs, trash. Okay. Players, you guys did okay. You turned over a lot, so you sucked
70%.
Yeah, but the refs, bro, the refs lost the game for two teams yesterday.
That we've seen.
For sure, yeah. But, like, the refs really lost the games. Also, when they're running out of bounds, whoever's running the clock, when they run out of bounds, you're supposed to stop the clock.
Be consistent.
They're not doing that anymore. They do it for the second half, not the first half, and it pisses me off because, like, you run out, bro. That's the rule.
Sometimes they'll do it, and sometimes they won't. It's just
it's like they whoever's on the clock, they really don't care, and it's like that's an important ass feature, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of going out of bounds is to stop the clock.
Right. That's why the fucking. And I realized too, we're both like. Wow, that was a fast first half. And it's like, yeah, because they didn't give a fuck about the clock stopping for the first half.
Yep.
And then, like, third quarter, it does it shaky. And then the fourth quarter, it's, like, really strict.
Yep.
They do it for the fourth quarter, but not the first half at all. Like, at all. I don't give a fuck. They're probably just trying to be like, let's get the fuck out of here. And if we keep stopping the clock every 2 minutes, it'll be a 4-hour game.
I want to go back to just... So what? Don't do fucking.
That was not a good time travel sound.
Don't fucking ever do that again.
Go ahead and time travel. Just go ahead and look at the thing on the look at the eye of the deer.
My dad said I should put lights in it.
That'd be fucking cool
for Halloween.
I mean, just anything. Make it orange or red. Oh, red would be fucking sick with the eyes.
Yeah.
So we gotta do that and then post it for the Instagram.
When I brought up the owner of Ventura Comedy Club coming in between people. And then you said something, the 22-year-old comedian. Like, so we went for my birthday, my 21st birthday, we went to the comedy club.
That's what everyone does, apparently.
Yeah, I guess it's a thing. And so they always ask, like, hey.
Whose birthday is it?
Who's got any special, like, celebrations, anniversaries, whatnot?
That's just a go-to MC thing.
Yeah, it is. And then I was like, guys, don't fucking say anything. Because I hate attention. But I secretly thrive off of it. Like,
I was gonna say that's how you are. Like, even if we went to like Applebee's and you're like, don't do the whole fucking singing thing for my birthday,
but do it because I like.
But
it.
like, we know we do it because it's like it's your fucking birthday, and I know you like that shit.
I'm a conundrum, and we kind of dove into it.
You're an enigma.
We kind of dove into it a little bit on Sunday.
You say one thing and you mean another.
I am a very, very complex individual with my stone wall facade. But my High School Musical loving personality.
Gang shit.
And so there's a lot to me, but I don't like public attention.
But you do.
But I love...
But you're going to let me stun you on the podcast, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
I like receiving attention. Like, I can't be in a group and just be...
You need your cred.
And be completely ignored. Like, I don't like that. That's not fun. But
you don't want to be the center of attention.
I just need to be acknowledged once, and I'm happy. I'm in bliss. I'm like, okay, I'm
here.
I matter. But I don't want to have all eyes on me. I had to do it because
not bad. Not
we're talking
bad.
about the movie.
Not bad.
Because I mean, I don't want to be the center of attention. I just want to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm. You want to know you're like credible.
I like attention. I don't want a lot of it. I just need to be acknowledged.
Bro, at my brother's wedding, I got a lot of attention, and I was
you were
exhausted.
The best man, no?
No. Oh, I was a groomsman.
You were in it.
Yeah, I was a groomsman, but at the wedding, bro, I gave a little speech because I wanted to say something nice for my brother. And then after the speech, everyone came up to me and like, hey, et cetera, your speech, this and that, and this and that. And a lot of people came up to me, and people I didn't even know, and they're just like, hey, man, you're the groom's brother, this and that. And like we partied with so many people, and it was a lot of fun, but it was exhausting, bro. So many people came up to me and they're like, can I do a shot with you? And I'm like, drunk as fuck, and I'm like, I gotta drive home in like 3 hours. I'd really just appreciate like some time alone. And like, I remember some girls came up to me at one point, they're like, can we take a shot with you? And I was like, I gotta go because I
really appreciate it if you suck my dick.
Well, I had the TV show the next day, and I had to be there at 6 a.m. on set. And I was like, look, it's like, I know it's only 9 o'clock and I'd love to sit here and party with you guys, but like, I really do have other things.
Just quick handy.
Yeah, if you really want to meet me in the Porta John. But like, it was one of those things. It was just like, geez, I'm like, I didn't want to, like, I could have kept drinking, of course, but it's one of those things,
not
like,
responsible.
Also, it's just like, I just wanted to be alone for a little bit. I sat down alone. I needed to like recharge, bro, because so many people coming up to you, and it's like, I burnt out. It was like, oh my God. And I felt like I had to remember everyone's name and everyone's career and what they wanted to do and why they were talking to me and this and that. And, you know, I keyed into a few people. Like, I keyed into like a group at one point. But when that group came back to me, and then those girls were like, let's take a shot, let's do this, and I was like, I really, like, I can't. Like, I'm so burnt out. I'm trying to sober up, this and that. They got pissed at me. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to like be that guy. It's just like, everyone there was just like, you're the groomsman, like, you're supposed to party with us. And I was like, I get that, but I'm not this social guy. Like, do I drink a lot? Yes, with like 3 or 4 people. But I don't fucking just like rage with
tight-knit people.
I don't rage with this like huge crowd. And everybody was raging. Everyone,
stranger danger.
Everybody was like, "Let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink." And I did that for like so many people, and then eventually I was just like, "Look, I can't do this anymore. I hit my limit." Like as much as it's like as much as I would have loved to stay there and like just keep partying, I just couldn't at a certain point. Like emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted, and then like the knowledge of like next day I gotta be there at 6. I think I even crashed. Did I crash on your couch or like? I did that a few times, but whatever it was just like, oh man, I just can't.
Yeah, I'm in Nick's wedding in 2 years. I believe I'm the best man. I don't remember.
You gotta throw together the best man party and everything.
Nick, if you watch this, like, we need to talk about it again, because generally he wanted to. Don't fucking touch me, man.
I'm sorry.
He wanted to do Anime Expo, but that shit got canceled because COVID. So I mean, in 2 years it'll be a little bit different. We'll probably be okay. So yeah, I'll go to Anime Expo.
I was gonna say that'd be dope if you party with Nick at Anime Expo. That shit.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Shit. The stories he tells is crazy.
I'd love it. That'd be
awesome.
It'd be a lot of fun. I like anime. I like Western anime. So I mean, that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, not only that, but like just the party with your brother.
We got Naruto there.
He's got some great stories.
It'll be okay.
So like that'd be the best thing, I think, is to like, I think you guys need to party together. That'd be like healthy.
We never have.
If I could party, I've partied with David. I haven't partied with Eric.
I think it'd be boring.
But if I partied with Eric, I think it'd be healthy. You know,
yeah.
It'd be one of those like he sees who I am, I see who he is,
It
and
brings
it's like,
you closer together.
It's a bonding experience, yeah, for sure. Like even when we go out with our friends and it's like even a shit time because someone's in a pissed off mood or someone tries to start a fight, whatever it may be,
threatens to throw me in a bush.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. But it's like you're gonna have that story and you'd be like, okay, and you
build on
you
it.
You gotta sync up a little bit more.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I've never partied with my brother. Granted, we've never really had like the same kind of friend group. And I've tried to hang out with his friends, but it was kind of like I shouldn't have. Because my mom just being like, "Hey, take your little brother." And it doesn't ever work. So if you are a parent and you have an older and a younger sibling, don't try to mix the realities.
Any parent who's watching this, by the way, fun fact, they're not going to listen to you because they just want the kids fucking out of the house.
I get that.
Out of the way.
100%.
That was.
You need mommy daddy time. But
there's a better way to do it.
If there's a significant age gap, like I'm 4 years younger than my brother, which some would say isn't significant, but
Really?
I wouldn't say that's significant. You're like how
everyone in my family is 2 years apart.
You and David though?
So
like how much is that gap? That's a significant gap.
I know I'm 2 years younger than Eric, so Eric is 28.
That's how my family works.
Then Ashley, so then Ashley's 30. Jenna's 32.
David's the oldest though.
And then David is like 38.
So 8 years.
37?
Roughly,
8 years from Jenna.
That's 12 years older than you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's a pretty significant gap compared to 4 years.
That's a huge gap, but we were never forced to hang out.
Like, my brother and I...
We chose to hang out.
Right. My brother and I were only in the same school once.
For 1 year. Same with me and Eric.
Elementary school, because I went to 6.
That's
and then
true,
he moved on, and then I stayed, and then he left. And then if we went to the same high school, we would have been there for 1 year. Like half a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean... It was just kind of mixing two worlds that shouldn't have ever mixed. So if there's a significant age gap, don't try to like have the little sibling go on with the big.
Well, let your little sibling find their own group of friends.
Yeah,
that's what I needed.
I had my own group, but my mom was like, "Hey, like kind of take your brother. You can't go unless you take your brother." Like the meme. I mean, it doesn't always work.
And that's the thing too. Like it's not supposed to always work, but like also like that's what made me and my family, all my siblings, we're super close because we decided at one point we all got together and we're like, look, if we want to be a family,
keep strong together.
We have to make this work. Yeah, and that's 100% the case. It was like
100. Didn't have much of parents.
Yeah, and 100%. It was like, oh, you guys are fucking cool, and like I love talking to Jen and Ashley and David and Eric because it's like, and Anthony. Because it's like I get to learn something more about not only myself, but like they saw other family and they know a little bit more, about either one thing or another, and I get to learn from them, and that's what makes us strong.
One of the weirdest encounters I've ever had with your brother, Eric, is that he called me. I was at Sushi Fresh with my family eating dinner, and he called me on Facebook, and he was wondering where you were, because I guess you weren't answering your phone, so he called me. It was when you were living with us at the time.
Really?
He called me and was like, "Where's Alec?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I'm at dinner right now." Like, he called me through Facebook, because we're friends on Facebook. And he was like, "Where's Alec?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
He didn't say hello or anything?
He was like, "Well, like, hi, like, I'm Alec's brother." It's like, I know I know who you are. And he was like, "Where's Alec?" He's not answering his phone. I was like, "I don't know. I'm at dinner. He's not
right.
here."
That'd be like, it's funny too, because I feel like I've done really good.
He tried to sell me a free mini fridge.
Knew that was gonna come up eventually. I feel like I've done really well incorporating my friends in my family, and like all of my friends. Oscar knows everyone's birthday. Like, Oscar knows everyone in my family's birthday.
That's his thing.
That's his thing. But he still knows it. He doesn't have to, but he does.
Yep.
And, like, anyone in my family could get a call from any of my friends, and my friends would be like, I know who you are. I know this. I know that. And, like, my family would call you and be like, hey, I heard you guys were in the same town at the same time. Like, I think he's living on your couch right now, right? Yeah. Do you know where he is? It's like...
I mean, I've slept on David and Jenna's couch.
I know, dude. We partied with them.
Yeah, they give us free beer. I was at their Super Bowl party. I'm in their Facebook picture.
You are. You're there.
Blonde hair, backwards hat. What's up? Very low on the ground, bottom left.
Yeah, it's
I'm there.
It's one of those things, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. You have to decide who you want to be around, and it becomes very apparent, like, who you've chosen.
I feel like, especially with siblings, when you're younger, you're kind of like, ew, get away from me. Like, you don't really...
Well, there's a lot of arguing and fighting.
You don't appreciate them as much,
Yeah.
but when you get older, you start to appreciate them because
Totally.
you're not a fucking idiot kid.
Yeah, well, it's like when you're a kid, you're just, like, emotional and territorial, right? Like, you're just like, say the fuck back, don't touch my shit, don't wear my shirt, don't use my deodorant, and then you grow up and you're just like...
You fucking shared deodorant with your brothers? Or at least Eric stole your deodorant?
We used to share toothbrushes.
Yo, that's fucking disgusting.
Is it, though? We were poor. I mean, we're poor enough to share toothbrushes.
I can get that, too. I was poor at 1.9 and share a toothbrush with Nick.
We had 4 or 5 people who needed teeth brushing, so...
That's disgusting. Use your finger. It
is what it is, man.
Scrape off the fuzz.
I am who I am. I was what I was.
And you don't like sharing drinks?
That might have something to do with it. But obviously, yeah. I mean, no, everyone's got their little...
Got their kinks.
Narcissies.
I don't think that's a word.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think so. We'll look it up. Narcissies. I'll write that down.
Neurosis.
I don't think that's a word either.
It's like if you're neurotic, it's like your weird things, your weird traits about you that make you who you are. It's pronounced neuroses in that context. I'm pretty sure. Neuroses.
Neurosis is a class of functional mental disorders involving chronic distress, but neither delusions or hallucinations.
That sounds about right.
So,
you won't share a drink? Neurotic. Just type in neurotic. See what it says about one acting neurotic.
a person experiences emotional distress and unconscious conflict, which are manifested in various physical or mental illness. The definitive symptom being anxiety.
Yep. So me.
I feel like neurosis and neurotic don't apply to each other though. Like the definition for neurosis was weird.
Say that again.
The definition.
These are smacking hard.
They do. They sneak up on you. The neurosis definition was like kind of weird compared to neurotic.
Well, is it based on the verbiage or what is it that makes it different?
That's what Google gave me.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
It's the same
too.
fucking word family.
It's easy to Google it, but it's also like there's always going to be a little bit more research to get what really
comprehension.
Yeah.
And I'd barely know how to read.
Big facts.
But yeah, definitely being older. I mean, I feel like my brother and I relationship has gotten closer together. Mm-hmm. So it definitely comes with time. So if you're younger and you watch this, first of all, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
21 plus.
Ideally, 18, I'll let it slide. Show me your ID. Okay, well, enter. Give me $5.
What's your friend Benjamin say?
How about Washington?
Ooh, no.
Yes, I'll take it. I'll take anything, please.
$1.
Please, I need money.
I'm so poor. I'm a bouncer outside of a club.
Give me money. Yeah, definitely comes with age. Like, the rare one I see is Oscar and his brother. Which is like, they're super close, which is super cool. But it's like a 10-year difference.
Yeah, but they're brothers. You could tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those weird things. Like, you think you know somebody, and then you see them hang out with their siblings. Or, like...
He's really the same around him.
No, I don't know. I think I might have seen some other stuff. But, like... There's been times where you, like, see them, like, snap at each other. Like, fucking don't do that. Yeah. Or, like, just, like, you see them one yell. And I've never seen Oscar yell except for his little brother.
But they have such a super good relationship, too.
They have a great...
For, like, 10-year difference.
They have a great relationship, but it's one of those things, like, bro, I've never seen Oscar yell. But it's, like, it's a sibling thing. Like, yeah. Oscar would never yell at us. But he would yell at his little brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, and maybe we could probably push him to yell, or he would be at a state of mind to yell at some point. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's like, if I wanted to yell or be mad at anyone, Eric would be the first one I'd yell at, because we grew up fighting nonstop and arguing nonstop. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm comfortable with fighting with you if you want to fight with me, because you know how it's going to end. It's like, one of us is going to get hurt. We don't know who. Nothing gets solved. Do you want to fight, or do you want to talk about it?
Raul and his sister on a cross-country road trip. Ryan and his brother kind of hate each other.
Oh, I don't know about, I don't know all the details and everything.
On paper.
Yeah.
Visibly. You like your siblings.
We had to work at it, though.
I tolerate my brother. Tolerate. Loosely. No, Nick, you're the best. He's coming on the podcast soon.
Yeah?
2 weeks.
You got him?
2
Fuck
weeks.
yeah. And we got another guest.
Raul on the 7th in a week.
And also...
Darian on the 21st.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We're stacked again.
We have all of October booked.
We're stacked again. Sweet.
Except for the last week of October. So if you want to be on the Halloween episode...
Reach out to him, because you need to stop fucking calling me.
Just message the fucking...
Although you can call me if you want to talk and just say hi. I appreciate that. I'm super alone.
Just message the 2DDB Instagram page. Pretty sure we both have access to it.
We sure do, but I never go on it.
He doesn't check it. I do. So, text him on the 2DDB Instagram page if you want to be a guest on the Halloween episode.
Say, hey, Alec. Yeah, reach out to me through the 2DDB Instagram and let me know what's up.
Reverse psychology.
I gotta pee so bad.
Are
we at an hour?
We're at hour 23. This is the perfect place to end it. Yeah. The diet episode 40. 40 doesn't matter. 50 and 100 are the big ones.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to do the taser on the 50 one, or do you want to...
We'll do it on 100, but then I need to convince you to do it too. And it'll be live on location.
You won't. We'll figure out more live spots too, because I do want to do more live podcasts. Like
we need to go to Arizona.
We do need to go to Arizona.
They want us. So we can do that any weekend, though. That'll be a special Sunday episode, too. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here so much. Once again, just a general thanks. Support has been pretty good recently.
Yeah, seriously, thanks. We're still getting really consecutive viewership.
Yeah, it's very consistent.
We appreciate that and appreciate you guys, and we hope you guys are enjoying this as much as we are.
The only thing I ask is you share it with a friend that has similar interests to you as you watch it. Because then we grow. You guys get better things.
One thing I'd appreciate is if you guys reached out to us more, telling us what you want, what kind of content you want us to talk about, what kind of beers you want us to drink. You don't have to necessarily pay for it. Just reach out and just let us know what you want us to do. We're still working on the whole shots of liquor thing, and
I'll do it. I'll drink wine. I don't care. We'll play slap the bag.
Wait,
not good enough. Drink.
Well, we'll do it. We'll figure something out. But
those glass jugs.
We kind of depend on you guys' feedback.
Feedback is 100% important. It kind of thrives off everything. So if you have anything you want us to do, want us to not do, things we should do, or things you want us to drink.
If you want Josh to get tased live on the next episode, 25 likes, is that fair?
That's fair, yeah.
If we get 25 likes on this episode, we will tase Josh live on the Wednesday show. If not, we'll have to work out the 50th or the 100th. Hopefully the 50th, because 100 is a fucking milestone. Jesus Christ.
That's really only 25 weeks away.
I know, but I mean,
6 months.
In context of everything, it's just like, I just want to do it now. I just want to hurt you.
Of course you do.
Do it now.
Piece of garbage. At least I'll be sitting down and not be standing up, so I don't fucking fall. No, I'm not standing up.
Okay. Can we close it out? Because I got to piss so bad.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Share this podcast with a friend if you liked it. If you're listening on Spotify, well, first of all, thank you. If you're on YouTube, welcome back. I'm Josh.
I'm Alec. Thanks for hanging out with us.
God damn, you messed up your own outro.
Nothing is scripted.
You messed up your own outro.